Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. And before we dive in, let me say that it's not often that I get to do a full review on a experience and still have the video come out exceptionally short, but Reaching for Petals is an extremely short experience. Apparently that is a thing now. They're not called games, but experiences. That's what happens when you're introduced to a game that isn't actually a game, as is the case here. They call it an experience in order to excuse any lack of gameplay, but before I color things with my own subjective impressions, let's take things step by step so I can walk you through my subjective impressions that will hopefully be more interesting than this experience was. First off, let's talk about the general impressions from the title menu that we experienced of this experience and the options menu that we experienced as well. I knew that we were off to a bad start when the main title menu experienced pop-in and frame rate fluctuations. Now, Reaching for Petals uses the Unreal 4 engine, which is a very powerful game engine, and you can, as you can already see, get some good graphics out of it without too much effort. However, it is a bit of a resource hog, and it requires a practiced hand to be able to properly optimize the game, and this is a clear indication that the experience has not been optimized well. And to its credit, I expected a bit more of a bare-bones options menu than we got here. It's still absent a number of things, but at the same time, it doesn't include any unneeded options either, and it maintains a certain tidiness about it that I can appreciate. It does support all of your standard resolutions, all the way up to 4K, and some minor graphical settings, but no rebindable keys or color deficiency mode. As for the experience itself, well, Reach for Petals is a walking simulator by every definition. And full disclosure, I was initially led to the experience due to rave reviews about the story and the graphics, and I thought I would at least give it a try, sucker as I am for a good story and all that. Unfortunately, as I'm sure you've already guessed, I was somewhat less than impressed with what was on offer here. The experience that is not a game but an experience has you walking an exceptionally slow pace through a very on-rails environment that is filled with invisible walls. As you slowly make your way through, you listen to a narrator recite the story in general, and as for that part, I was reasonably impressed. The voice acting was extremely well done, as was the music within the experience. The music fit the tone and helped enhance it rather well, and it never really felt out of place. However, even that aspect wasn't without its issues. Sometimes the music was way too loud, even to the point of drowning out the narrator, so you're unable to discern his excellent work. It was extremely frustrating and severely detracted from one of the few positive aspects of the experience. In between the 4 chapters of this experience, you have memories, which you are wandering through a generic house in order to interact with a single object in order to have more of the story expressed to you via text. Once that is completed, you're dumped back into another segment of forest as you move to climb a mountain to its summit. Now, as for the gameplay, the only real interaction you have is to move forward, occasionally jump some exceptionally basic platforms, and interact with the items that transition you from one area to the next, along with the items within the memories. The experience that you're experiencing also has you make some very basic decisions in regards to the narrative that you experience within the memories, but those are simple multiple choice that does really nothing to influence the outcome. And laying the interactions experience aside, Reaching for Petals does look quite lovely, showing more how easy it is to get decent graphics out of Unreal 4 than any actual effort on the part of the developers. The frame rate that you experience, even on a 1080 Ti, is absolute garbage, and there is pop-in literally everywhere you churn, showing that there is extremely poor optimization experience within the experience, and it was so bad that I had to refrain from looking too closely at the ground experience, or else I would give myself a headache with a poor frame rate experience. There were also issues with the loading experience within this experience that you're experiencing. It would actually manage to make my PC freeze completely during the load segment experience, something that even low-grade asset flips have been as yet unable to quite manage. The experience is less than an hour long, and I can find no reason whatsoever to load it up again once this review experience is completed. There is no discernible replay value, and the experience is $10, which I personally feel is extremely poor experience value for the money. Am I sorry I experienced this experience that we still cannot call a game, but an experience that you were expected to experience? No. The voice acting was phenomenal and the music was worthwhile, but as an experience, to my mind, it is in no way worth $10. A solid $2, maybe. But don't let my own sense of value be the only takeaway from this experience. Let me know what you think of this experience down in the comments below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll experience you next time. Experience.